Hey there, listeners. Thanks again for tuning into Sans Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be talking about Beasts of Prey by Ayana Gray. This was the Book of the Month winner on Sans Workshop just a couple months ago. And I have to say I'm really happy that I finally got around to reading it because I really, I loved it actually. So one of the things I think is really interesting about this novel is how it starts. So when you read the synopsis talks about Kofi and Ikon as main protagonists. Yet our story doesn't open with either of them. Instead, we're introduced to Adia and this chapter. It's called Forbidden Fruit. And then all of a sudden, chaos happens. Then the story actually starts, part one, with Kofi. And I think that's really engaging because I think immediately we're drawn into the intrigue, like what is so important about Adia. And considering how that first chapter with her ends, it's a jaw dropper, honestly. You're like, what in the heck is going on here? So you are immediately intrigued. You're immediately interested in what is going to be happening with this story. And I think that says a lot about the author's writing style. She is compelling. She lures you in. She makes you want to read the story. And that's why I liked it. For that reason, because again, you are intrigued from the get-go. You are interested in how the stories develop, where it's going to go from here, and you want to know what is so important about Adia's arc. What is it that made the author choose to start with her? So you're reading the story, you're following Kofi and Ikon, and of course, Adia's story arc is reintroduced again and again. And this is another thing I love about Gray's writing style. She does a lot of showing, and I can't think of any telling with her story. So as you're reading, immediately it's alluded to rather, that Kofi and Ikon's story arc takes place in, present day, whereas Adia's is past tense. Her story arc was the past. These are two vastly different worlds. In Adia's world, magic is everywhere. In Kofi and Ikon's, magic is a myth. So it's 100 years. It's been 100 years. Something happened. There was a world-breaking event. There was a rapture. The sky looks like it's been torn apart. So immediately, you as a reader, you kind of know, okay, the way the world is now, it ties back to Adia's arc, and now you're further interested, you're further engaged, you're further committed to finding out what the heck happened after the end of that first chapter. So that's what the story is kind of about. It's kind of developing this mystery about Adia and the world and why it is the way it is now. So I love that, and I love the fluidity, the momentum. Usually one of my biggest pet peeves is whenever we go back and forth between past and present, sometimes authors aren't always very smooth about it. It can be very jarring at times, and that's what I love about Adia's story arc. Because every time we go back to her arc, it's such a smooth re-entry. You don't even notice that, oh yeah, this story arc is taking place in the past. You're just lured in. Gray's writing style is so fluid. It's concise. It's written wonderfully. I think she has such a bright and vivid imagination because she's able to create really two worlds, because that's what's happening. You have the past and present day world, and they're two very different worlds. And I think it's just ultimately engaging. I think it's amazing how it all moves together effortlessly, really. So I think her writing style is incredible. Let me just continue from there. I really enjoyed the movement of back and forth between past and present, because she doesn't lose the author and she doesn't lose that momentum. And that for me is incredible, because again, like I said, it's one of my biggest pet peeves when authors are going back and forth and they don't do it in a way that is fluid. It actually really, really bugs the crap out of me when that happens. But, overall, I think the story was incredible. I think Kofi is such a good character. I loved her spunk. I love how she develops, because at first, when you first meet her, she's a little quiet, she's a little meek, and she doesn't really have that force to drive the story as much as she does eventually drive the story. And that's something that I personally thought was super amazing for her, because you're seeing her develop, especially with Ikon. Their character dynamics are incredible, and I love the mutual respect that forms between them, because they're both from different groups of people, different tribes to say. And as the author notes in her author notes, different groups of people don't always get along. Your different beliefs, different religious beliefs tend to be fodder for a lot of hatred. So to see these two bond and team up was really well done, and you're seeing them develop. Ikon is overlooked a lot because of his his nervous tics, and for Kofi, she doesn't really think twice about them. She's just like, oh, they are what they are, and she respects him. She respects his book smarts more than anyone around him ever did. And I think that says a lot about her characterization, and I think it says a lot about their personality and where they're coming from, and why Ikon is at times very insecure about a lot of himself. Immediately he apologizes for his nervous tics to her, and she's just like, don't apologize. You have nothing to apologize for. Like, you're not offending me in any way, shape, or form. So I think it's really well done, these character dynamics. And I think the story was well done too, because it doesn't lose its momentum. It's just bang, 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 bang. It just keeps moving forward. And I think that that's really well done. It was executed expertly. And I'm excited to see where the story is going to go from here, because it's just... that ending was jaw-dropping, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead and give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. It really was well done. It was consistent. It had excellent rising tension, excellent character dynamics, excellent pacing and momentum. It doesn't lose any of that from beginning to end. And I love that it's developing a Dia story. It starts with how her story ends, and we're getting to that moment, because as you follow her journey and how she got from point A to point B, you're seeing how the world became the way it is now. And I think that that's something worth reading. So please remember, if you're going to purchase the book from your local bookseller or online book retailer. If money's tight, please check out that book from your local library. And I hope you'll continue to support this podcast by liking it, subscribing to it, and sharing it with all your book loving friends. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.